Been some announcements trickling out around the country. Players declaring for the NFL draft. C.J. Stroud, Ohio State quarterback, announced. Jordan Addison, wide receiver out of USC, announced he's declaring for the draft as well. No word out of Baton Rouge on the future of John Emery Jr. And this is one that I think has wavered back and forth. The anticipation, I think, back when the season ended was that John Emery would declare for the NFL draft. Of course, he started his LSU career here 2019, and you had the 2020 season that was real weird. He missed 2021, had 2022. He's been here for 4 seasons, only played in 3 of them. And I think if you're just looking from a career in professional football, I think John Emery's best decision would be to go to the NFL. Not getting any younger in college, and the odds of him becoming a really high draft pick, while possible, are not great. And I think that just trying to get on the team, sign on a roster, and go try to make a team in fall camp, in training camp, is probably the best option. But if you're just talking about quality of life and enjoyment of football, maybe John Emery just wants to play for LSU. I don't know John Emery. I don't know anything about him. But I know that he was suspended for an entire year and didn't leave. He came back and wanted to play. So the thought now is that he may come back. That's the buzz. That decision can change blink of an eye. It sure did with Kayshon Boutte a couple weeks ago. But we'll see. He hasn't made an announcement. John Emery coming back would not be something that would greatly diminish his NFL value, the whole tread on the tires line. There's a ton of tread on John Emery's tires. He's only got 190 career rushing attempts. For perspective, Leonard Fournette in 2015 carried the ball 300 times. That's one season. Leonard Fournette carried it 300 times. In his career, John Emery has 190 carries. So there is tread on the tires, and there's some talent. And quite frankly, when I look at LSU's running back room, and I look at Josh Williams, and I look at Armani Goodwin coming off injury, and I look at Kane, got a couple of running backs coming in this class, Emery's ceiling's as high as any of them. I think any thought that Emery, because he was a 5-star number 1 back in the country, you were fighting with Georgia to get him, and you finally got him in the boat, and he was going to be the next in the line of Geis and Fournette, and the list goes on and on and on. You know him by now. Jeremy Hill. Probably not. Is he going to be a first-team All-League back next year? Is he going to run for 1,400 yards? Probably not. But he does have some home run hitting ability. He does have some playmaking ability if he just hold on to the football. That's the biggest problem with him. Y'all know that. You watch the games. So if I'm looking at LSU next year trying to create as good a roster as I can, to me, John Emery is on that roster. I don't think that this maybe looks as productive as the great backs that LSU has had. I don't think they've got any of those on the roster, like I mentioned. But I'll take him as a guy in the rotation as opposed to not. And if he does come back, I think that pretty much cements your running back room. If he leaves, you could consider running back out of the portal, but it's not necessary. You got 4 guys that can help you. That's enough. And certainly, Emery, Kane, Williams, Goodwin, and 2 freshmen is enough. So, again, we don't have a decision from his camp. I don't know what he's weighing against what he's not. I don't know where he is in the classroom. I don't know what his situation is. Sometimes that information is a little bit more apparent than other times. There have been players in the past where you've heard that, there are some people back home that could really use a check if you can try to go get one. I don't know what John Emery's situation is. But he has tread on the tire. He's got some ability. I kind of hope that John Emery decides to come back, and that really puts the cement around an offense that could be really good next year. You got a couple of quarterbacks that you think can be really good players. You bring back almost your entire offensive line. You've got a ton of talent out at wide receiver, veteran running backs, some balance in those backs. Should be a team that can score a lot of points. That's certainly my hope for next year. So again, no word that I have seen on John Emery, but today is the deadline to decide whether or not you are going to declare for the NFL draft or you're going to come on back to school. Still got a couple more days for the transfer portal to stay open. But as far as the NFL draft goes, today is the last day. Hey, thanks so much for watching the Hunt Palmer Show on YouTube. If you don't mind, throw us a like right below and hit the subscribe button. We'll see you next time.